This is OneWrestling.com, 24/7 wrestling news.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Big Ray's Wrestling Show. I am the mark of the masses. I am the man with the plan. Big Ray here to stay to talk some TNA today. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we talk Impact 9/6/2012. The Bound for Glory series is almost over. There are only 4 guys left. You got Samoa Joe, you got RVD, you got Bully Ray, who I just learned this today. I am taping this 9/7/2012. I am learning this. It's all over the internet. Bully Ray has signed a 2-year extension with TNA Wrestling. I wonder if Bully Ray is going to get a championship run. I would like to know what you guys think. Do you think Bully Ray will be the TNA champion? And if he is the TNA champion, do you think he will have a good run? Do you think he will make a good champion? Do you think it's even worth putting the title on him? Who do you think should be the champion? Anyway, guys, we have a lot of show to go over. Impact basically starts with a nice video recap of the Bound for Glory series. It basically breaks down everything that's been happening. Again, we have Samoa Joe, Cowboy James Storm, Bully Ray, RVD. The first match of the night was Jeff Hardy versus Samoa Joe. Really, really good match. Again, I always say this. Everything is opinion-based. This is totally my opinion. I got to know what you guys think. But again, I say this every single week. When TNA sticks to wrestling, the show is 12 times better than any other wrestling promotion. And I will stick to that. Very good match between Jeff Hardy and Samoa Joe. Towards the end of the match, basically, and I got to mention this, the crowd seemed really, really hot all night. They were really into the show. Off the top, you see everybody clapping their hands and jumping and screaming. It was really good. I really got into the show last night. But anyway, we get into the match. It was a really good match between between Jeff Hardy and Samoa Joe. Really good back and forth action. Before the match, they actually put over the fact that Samoa Joe was a big time submission guy. And the way this match ended, I did not think it would end this way. But anyway, we go on to wind down and we see RVD, who's basically being put in the rear naked choke by Samoa Joe. Why do I keep on saying RVD? Jeff Hardy is put in the rear naked choke, and he basically breaks out of the move, and he ends up hitting the twist of fate. He ends up on the top rope, hitting Samoa Joe later on with the whisper in the wind, and he actually ends up hitting Joe on the arm. Now this is the arm that was hurt before by Magnus, so he's selling the arm, and Jeff Hardy ends up putting him in. I don't know what it was. It was like an inverted reverse headlock type, almost like an anaconda vice lock that CM Punk uses in the WWE, but he puts him in, and Samoa Joe taps out to Jeff Hardy. Ladies and gentlemen, I did not expect this to happen. Samoa Joe taps out, so Jeff Hardy gets 10 points in the BFG series. We go backstage and we see Austin Aries, and Austin Aries is just tired. He is sick and tired. The week before last, he got hit in the hand with a chair, attacked by the Aces and Eights. Then last week, he got hit with a blackjack by a guy who apparently was working ringside for TNA. So the kid was working. I didn't know who he was. He had jumped on the ring apron, and you see him put the mask on. So apparently he was working. A couple of you guys actually pointed it out to me on the YouTube channel. That's YouTube /One Wrestling Video. But yeah, he definitely pointed it out that the kid was working for TNA. So Hulk Hogan is in a discussion with Austin Aries, and again, Austin Aries is sick and tired of getting jumped. Well, Hulk Hogan basically says that kid that worked for TNA is going to be there tonight, or last night. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. He's going to be there for Impact, and Hulk Hogan basically tells Austin Aries, brother, do what you got to do, brother. Break his legs, brother. So basically, Austin Aries needs to get, but Hulk Hogan did say, you need to get some information out of this kid. We need to know what the hell this kid is up to, who he's working for, so on and so forth. Anyway, we move on. So after the match, we have Christy Hemme interviewing Samoa Joe, and basically, they're talking about the BFG series, and while Joe is being interviewed, Magnus comes out, and Magnus kind of gives puts Joe over, or their tag team over, kind of, with a couple of backhanded compliments, saying that the team was really, really good. Jolly good. Well, he didn't say jolly good, but you know what I mean. He's English. Anyway, he said the team was really, really good, and but Magnus was obviously excellent. Anyway, long story short, Magnus basically apologizes, kind of, and says, Joe, look, man, you got over on me, and I lost it. I got a little upset, and I lost it. So as Joe pulls his attention, Christy Hemme pulls Joe's attention away from Magnus as Magnus walks away, Magnus then goes and attacks Joe from behind. So it appears that there will be a little bit of a feud between Joe and between Magnus. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But anyway, we go backstage and we see Hulk Hogan with the tag team, with the top tag teams in TNA. We have a new tag team of Chavo Hernandez and a couple of the other guys that have been there, Robbie and Big Rob. And anyway, I like the fact that they are really, and I feel TNA does this well, and they bring importance to the tag team titles. When I was a kid, some of my favorite wrestling moments were tag teams. I would like to know who your top 5 tag teams of all time. Oh, just tell me your favorite tag team. I can go over. I had the British Bulldogs. I used to love Demolition. I used to love, oh my gosh, Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson. Even a little later on, you had Edge and Christian, the Hardy Boys, Bully and Devon, or Bubba and Devon Dudley. I mean, they were fantastic tag teams. Tag teams used to sell out arenas all over the world. It's really good that TNA's emphasizing, but Hulk Hogan's basically putting over the tag team division backstage, and he wants to pick and choose who is going to face the tag team champs tonight on Impact. Well, we move on, and we find Brooke now back with Tara, and she's actually putting Tara over. And because Tara got called out by the champ, Miss Tessmacher, a couple of weeks ago, and Tara beat her clean, nice and clean, and it looks like Tara's gonna be in the title picture pretty soon. I would like to know what you guys think regarding Tara's title run, if she has one. But we have Tara, who's actually being put over again by Brooke Hogan, and she's interrupted by Gail Kim, and Gail Kim gets in her face, and basically Brooke Hogan makes a match. So it is Gail Kim versus Tara. We move on. So now we move on, and we basically have a recap of the gut check situation with Joey Ryan. Now, truth be told, truth be told, I have been a big proponent of Joey Ryan, and apparently my friend over here is one of the 87% that wanted Joey Ryan to be part of TNA. And I think Joey Ryan is really good at what he does. He's funny as all hell. I think he's really good in the ring, but I've said this 1,000 times. So basically, Al Snow, yes, Mr. Head himself, Al Snow, goes to the ring. And he is just tired of the whole Joey Ryan, of hearing Joey Ryan saying that he didn't have a chance, so on and so forth. So Joey Ryan basically trying to get Al Snow's attention. Well, Al Snow comes down to the ring and says, you know what, you've got my attention. And he calls Joey Ryan out to the ring. Well, Joey Ryan comes to the ring. And the funny thing is, Joey Ryan, he says, look, I don't have to prove myself. Because Al Snow says, look, I want you to go through gut check one more time. You need to do it. And if you win, you get a contract. Well, that's pretty good. But Joey Ryan feels that 87% of the people who voted basically said that he should already have a contract. Well, anyway, Joey Ryan finally does accept it. He says, fine, I'll do the gut check thing. And the problem is that he's going to have to fight Al Snow. And the funny, Joey Ryan actually says to Al Snow, nobody wants to see you in tights anymore. Well, I got to tell you, nobody wants to see me in tights either. But it looks like Joey Ryan is going to fight Al Snow for a gut check contract. Now, Al Snow ends up slapping the taste out of Joey Ryan's mouth. And the funny thing is that in TNA, they really emphasize on slapping each other. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but a lot of people get slapped in TNA. Anyway, maybe it's just a wrestling thing. But, yeah, Al Snow slaps the taste out of Joey Ryan's face. Joey Ryan falls out of the ring, and then Joey Ryan says that he's going to sue Al Snow because he doesn't work for TNA. I don't know where they're going to go with this, but I'm really interested to see where the character Joey Ryan goes. I think TNA is doing a really good job. If it wasn't a work before, if the gut check thing with Joey Ryan wasn't a work, if the Taz promo that he cut, or that shoot promo that Taz cut, when they voted against Joey Ryan wasn't a work before, I think it's a work now. I would like to know what you guys think regarding the whole Joey Ryan situation. Please leave a comment below on the YouTube channel or on OneWrestling.com. But anyway, we move on. So we go backstage and we see Joseph Park on the phone, and he's approached by Bully Ray. And Bully Ray, we see kind of a different side of Bully Ray. Bully Ray says, "Look, we've had our differences, but I need to warn you. Be careful where you stick your nose, because well, I know guys like this." Now, it made me think just a little bit. I don't know if anybody else caught this. Could Bully Ray be the leader of the Aces and Eights? I know he's been involved fighting the Aces and Eights. He has been a big proponent in accusing others of being the leader of Aces and Eights. Is he the leader of Aces and Eights? I guess we'll find out soon. But anyway, so he basically warns Joseph Park. We move on, and we see the smaller guy being locked backstage by a security officer. And then Austin Aries enters the room, and Austin Aries says, if you don't talk, then we're going to have some fun. I feel bad for the guy. But basically, the young, skinny guy is taking the brunt of the whole, I guess, the whole dilemma or the whole issue situation. But anyway, we move. So we move on to the RVD versus Bully Ray match. And it was a really good match. Again, a Bully Ray match and an RVD match is always good. It always kind of brings back those sweet, warm memories of steel chairs and barbed wires and blood and ECW. Anyway, really good match between them both. Basically, the match ends where RVD is jumping off the top rope for his 5-star frog splash, and Bully Ray catches him with the bully cutter, not the Bubba cutter. It's not the Bubba cutter. Mike Tenay, I don't know if you guys, again, I'm not a professional, but you got to be on point with this guy. This is already like the third week in a row. It's the bully cutter, not the Bubba cutter. That's a different organization. But anyway, hits him with the bully cutter as RVD comes down for the 1-2-3. So Bully Ray gets 7 points for the BFG series. We move on and we see Austin Aries, and Austin Aries is backstage with the skinny guy, I guess we'll call him, and he's slapping him around and threatening him, and the guy won't talk, and he says, "Oh, you're going to be loyal?" Well, he takes a pair of pliers and he basically grabs the dude's tongue. What's a plier? It was hilarious. Well, Hulk Hogan walks in, brother, and Hulk Hogan sees Austin Aries, and he says, "Look, that wasn't a deal, dude." And then he turns around, slaps the crap out of the kid, and he joins in the fun. So Hulk Hogan basically is warning the kid that he's got to talk, or else they're going to beat the living daylights out of him. Well, Hulk Hogan gets a cell phone call from the leader of the Aces and Eights, or the vice president of the Aces and Eights. I wasn't really sure. I think it was the vice president. But anyway, the vice president, let's just say the vice president of the Aces and Eights basically comes and he says, Hulk Hogan states, I'm going to bring this, I'll give you the kid back, but it's got to be a fair trade. We want the guy, the arm breaker, the big guy in the Aces and Eights to come down to the ring so our champion, Austin Aries, can get a shot at him. A clean shot at him. So they agreed to that. Then there was a second stipulation. Second stipulation is that at no surrender, the big guy, or we'll just call him the arm breaker, will face Austin Aries at this week's pay-per-view. Anyway, we move on. Okay, so now we have Cowboy James Storm. Cowboy James Storm basically comes down into the ring, and he basically said that, when he had lost the title first, he had to take some time with his kids and his family, and he felt like something was missing. And long story short, he basically came, he cut the promo and says that he came back better than ever. And then he starts putting over the BFG series, and he basically states that he's going to be the next TNA heavyweight champion. And he decides to call out Jeff Hardy, Samoa Joe, and Bully Ray, because everybody knows that Cowboy James Storm clinched the #1 spot, so he gets to choose who he's going to face for the next pay-per-view. Well, he puts Jeff Hardy over. Jeff Hardy at the top ramp. He puts Samoa Joe over, and then he calls Bully Ray. So he basically picks Bully Ray to come down into the ring, and he basically said, "You know what? You screwed me out of my title last time. No, out of the BFG series last time. So I want to basically screw you back." So basically, it's going to be Cowboy James Storm versus Bully Ray this week at the pay-per-view. It's going to be really interesting. I would like to know who you think is going to go over. I had a gentleman on Twitter just hit me up a few minutes ago saying that he feels that Bully Ray is going to win the BFG series. Who do you think is going to win the BFG series? And if Bully Ray does win the BFG series, if he does win the championship, I guess it all kind of ties in. I mean, is Bully Ray the Aces and Eights leader? That would make sense. Anyway, I don't know. Anyway, we'll move on. It's wrestling. I'm not really sure. But we move on and we see Kaz and Daniels. And they're basically waiting backstage to find out who their opponents will be. So we have Hulk Hogan backstage. And Hulk Hogan is with Robbie E, Big Robbie and Little Robbie. And he's with Chavo and Hernandez. So those are the two teams. And he basically puts over Chavo and Hernandez. And so Hernandez and Chavo actually go to the ring and they have a match versus the tag champs, Kaz and Daniels. So we're in the ring, and basically we'll wind down. Chavo ends up getting tossed over the top rope, and he's out of the picture. And Hernandez basically is in the corner with Kaz, and he has Kaz in. It's not a it's like a reverse flip backbreaker where he's actually holding him on his shoulder. I forgot the technical term. Please leave me a comment. Tell me what that move is. Anyway. But he has him in a backbreaker, and while the referee's being distracted by, I guess, Chavo being hurt or being flipped outside the ring, Daniels comes into the ring and hits Hernandez in the ribs with the tag team title belt. Kaz rolls him up, and the champs go over again. Well, Hulk Hogan comes out, brother, and Hulk Hogan basically clapping his hands. Good job, you guys did it again. You know what you guys won? You won a match at this pay-per-view versus AJ Styles, who came in earlier. I forgot to mention, he came in earlier. He wanted to be part of the tag team division. He wants to hold the strap. Again, they are emphasizing on the tag team championships, which I love. I love it. I'm very happy to hear that. I'm very happy with TNA doing this. But you know who AJ Styles' partner is going to be? The Olympic gold medalist, Kurt Angle. And Daniels and Kaz lose it. They lose it. Do you think AJ Styles and Kurt Angle will be the next tag team champions? And if they do, who's going to beat them? That will be tough. Who knows? But anyway, we move on. So finally, we're winding down the show. And we have Austin Aries and the skinny guy in the ring. The skinny guy is on his knees in handcuffs. He looks like he's been roughed up a little bit. And apparently, he's calling out the big guy, but the big guy doesn't show up. So finally, he starts slapping around the skinny guy. And the skinny guy finally says, "I will talk." And Austin Aries says, "Oh, good. I'm going to get the microphone. I'm going to let everybody know, what basically you are, who the leader is." I knew that the big guy wasn't going to let this happen. The big guy actually comes down to the ring, and as the kid is about to talk, he pulls the kid out of the ring. Now, the twist is he pulls out, as Taz would say, a ball-peen hammer, and he knocks the kid out. So the kid won't have a chance to talk. Then Austin Aries jumps through the ropes and hits him with a suicide dive. It's the big guy with the suicide dive, and they go at each other. They go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how the show ended. So we have No Surrender, which is leading to the BFG, or Bound for Glory, pay-per-view. So No Surrender this weekend. Bound for Glory coming next month, at the end of next month. What do you think is going to happen? I've asked you guys a bunch of questions. I would like to hear from you. The show is opinion-based only. I want to hear from you. Please leave comments below. Let me know who your favorite tag teams are. Let me know what you think about Joey Ryan. Let me know about who you think is the leader of the Aces of Base. What do you think about Bully Ray being the World Heavyweight Champion if it happens? What are your thoughts of him re-signing with TNA? And ladies and gentlemen, I say this every single week, and I'll say it again. I would do this for a living. But if I can't, I would do it anyway. Why? Because I love talking wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, catch me here, Big Ray's Wrestling Show, only at onewrestling.com or YouTube.com/OneWrestling Video. And please follow me on Twitter at Big Ray's Show. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. See you next week. Peace.